All right, Miles, let's talk about Ole Miss here for a little bit. This is a team looking to make big moves this offseason as they're trying to overcome that disappointing finish to last season. This is a team with a lot of talent, and ever since Lane Kiffin has showed up at Oxford, they have become contenders in the SEC West, but they're not resting on their laurels. They're looking to make big moves. And Miles, I know you've got the latest story of a huge move that Lane Kiffin has managed to pull it off. But before I hand it over to you, Ole Miss fans, we want to hear from you guys in the comments section below. Give us one move, one decision you think this football program has to make this offseason to get them trending in the right direction to compete with the likes of the Alabamas, the LSUs, potentially A&M if they were to figure out a top of the absolutely brutal SEC West. The comments below, one thing they absolutely have to do. And while you're down there, make sure you hit subscribe. It helps our channel out a bunch, and it makes sure every time we post Ole Miss content, it gets sent right to you. You don't even have to do a thing. That's why you got to hit subscribe. But Miles, give us the latest out of Oxford.
Yeah, Nick, the Rebels have some big news, especially in the quarterback department. Last year's starter, Jackson Dart, he has some company now in this quarterback room. It's getting a little bit tighter, and none other than Oklahoma State's former starting quarterback, Spencer Sanders, is making his move over to Oxford. And Nick, he is ready to come in no matter who is in this room. This is the comment he said. He said, "I'm going to come in and work my tail off either way, whether the room is packed or not. That's just my mindset. I've always had the mindset of competing, driving, and striving to be better. I've never shied away from competition, and I'm not going to start now." So I don't think it's a given who the starter is going to be this season, Nick. Sanders is going to come in and immediately add some competition to this quarterback room. I think he's a really good signing for this Ole Miss team and is going to help propel them into the future, as you have said. What do you think about Sanders?
So when I think of Sanders, I think of two things. I think of veteran presence. This is a guy who's 4-year player at Oklahoma State, obviously a big time Big 12 program. He can come in, be a mature voice, be kind of a leader in the locker room, handle the quarterback position. Because I think that was one of the problems with Dart, right? He's a younger guy. Altemeyer was the other guy, younger guy. Like ever since Matt Corral left last year, they've been looking for that next leader, that next adult in the room, which you have to be an SEC starting quarterback. And they're hoping Spencer Sanders can kind of be that potentially. If he's not the starter, at least being a quality number 2 guy, a quality backup. And the other thing when I think of Sanders is a kind of quietly, deceptively good runner. This is a guy who has almost 2,000 career rushing yards in his career as a quarterback, 18 touchdowns. And remember, in college football, sacks count against your rushing yards. Being quarterback, he gets sacked a good bunch. So obviously, he has a lot more than 2,000 rushing yards when you factor in his running plays. Lane Kiffin likes the quarterback to run a lot. Seems to be a good scheme fit as well.
Yeah, Nick. And, it would make sense, have this older guy and Sanders come in, be the mentor, have Dart in there as a younger guy to learn from him. But they didn't stop there, Nick. Ole Miss came out firing for the quarterback position. They said, okay, we have one guy that could be the guy. Let's bring in another guy. Maybe he's the guy, but let's not stop there, Nick. Let's bring in one more guy, another guy from a Power 5 conference team, another guy from an SEC team, Nick. Who is this LSU quarterback that Ole Miss just brought in?
Yeah, you bring up a great point. Lane Kiffin is not just relying on Sanders here to maybe make this quarterback room better. He's making multiple big-time moves. So according to the Mississippi Clarion Ledger, LSU transfer Walker Howard announced his commitment to play for the Rebels. The product of St. Thomas More in Louisiana, was one of the top quarterback prospects in the class of 2022. He was the 5th-ranked quarterback and the number 40 overall prospect. So obviously Howard is a big-time prospect. Didn't play a lot for LSU. Obviously, that's why he's deciding to transfer, and he lands in Oxford. And Miles, I love this from Lane Kiffin because you get kind of a double whammy here. You get the old savvy vet that's been around the block in Sanders, and you get the young athletic top prospect in Howard. And if it's one of those great things, because if Howard develops right away and he looks good to go, he comes in perfect, outstanding. If he doesn't, hey, you got the savvy vet Sanders who can run the offense, execute, and you'll be fine with him behind center. So you got to love Lane Kiffin here. Not happy with the quarterback position last season in 2022. He says, listen, we're going to go at it 2 different ways. Make sure we get the right guy here for 2023.